for an experiment to see what's happening, he does not seem to have many controlled variables or have given much context onto what is going on.
Derek is so funny. The guy's like, hey, I'm doing an experiment. I'm going to take steroids at the same time as I start lifting and see what the results are. Derek's like, oh, well, I don't think that was an experiment. Where are the control variables? Where are all the different metrics and all the sciencey Derek words that only Derek would use? Coach Greg, and in today's video, Derek, more plates, more dates, he got it wrong. Video's titled, He's Pretending to Be on Steroids, the fitness industry's first fake natty. And so although I do love alliteration, the first fake natties, the triple Fs, the guy simply is not a fake natty. And really what he's saying is he's a fake, non-fake natty. This very confusing. And so to summarize this guy, he went to the gym and began taking steroids immediately. He put on about 30 or 40 pounds, not all of it muscle, but 30 or 40 pounds from taking these steroids, of which he does not disclose what they are, and that gave them horrendous acne that will scar him for the rest of his life. And Derek, on the other hand, he's saying, no, you didn't. You didn't take steroids at all. I mean, look at the guy. Does he look like he has a lot of muscle? And so the fact that he's got over 22 million views from this, Derek's saying the guy is pretending to be on steroids for the views. Well, if that is the case, how do you explain him suddenly getting this really horrible acne? What could cause this level of backney aside from using and abusing anabolic steroids? The guy had clean skin, a normal guy, very skinny, didn't have a lot of muscle. And then he says he went to the gym and took steroids. And so do you really think that these were natural gains that he got in the gym, close to 40 pounds in 4 months? And that he just suddenly broke out in acne? From what? The sweat on the benches at the gym? From eating too much protein? Perhaps he's allergic to dairy and started eating too many protein shakes. Is that what gave him horrible cystic acne on his back? And did he in fact expect to get this kind of popularity? Did he expect to go viral to this extent? Of course not. The guy just said, hey, I'm using steroids and I'm doing an experiment. I want to see how much muscle I'm going to put on despite the fact that I have never trained before. I'm going to use steroids on day one. And does he do this maliciously to encourage young people to take steroids? No. He literally says, don't do this. Look what happened to me.
But you really should not take steroids when you start working out. But if you're still curious about doing that, then please don't. Just follow me. I'm only going to do this for a few more months, then I'm deleting all of it.
But what I'd like to see him do is tell us exactly what did you take. 22 million people are watching this thinking, I don't want this to happen to me. And so does it not make sense for him to educate the world? Say, yeah, I took 500 milligrams of test and 500 milligrams of tren, and it led to this kind of acne on my back. And so I don't think if he were to disclose this cycle that it's somehow going to promote steroids to the world. I think it will do the exact opposite. And so a guy like this, I like him. I like the fact that he's being open and honest, transparent, saying, I took these steroids. This is what they did for me. Yeah, I put on 30, 40 pounds. I like that part of it, but I hate the part where I have horrible acne on my back.
After doing a bit of research, I found out that steroids actually give you back acne, and it's not great. My back is completely covered in scars, and it feels pretty terrible all the time, but I do like being able to go to the gym more.
And so he likes the way it makes him feel, the muscles, the strength that he's added. But he hates the way it looks. He doesn't like the acne. The fact that the acne actually hurts him. And so people blowing up the comment section. Over 12,000 comments. All those steroids for this, they must have been fake. Really? You really think that people are taking fake steroids that cause this kind of acne? That you can take steroids and all they do is they put acne on their back. That it doesn't help you to build muscle. It's not possible. Doesn't happen. Oh, but look at his end results. He doesn't even look like he works out. Well, did you see how he was at the start? The guy has horrible, awful genetics. Perhaps 98, 99% of the world, they have better genetics than this guy. And so even with steroids, let's say it was test and trend, even with that, despite the fact he's abusing the steroids, his end results still don't look average. And does that make sense? Yes, it does. Because if you have absolutely horrible genetics and you abuse performance-enhancing drugs, you're only going to look average. You really think that everyone, no matter who you are, no matter how bad your genetics are, that if you abuse performance-enhancing drugs, you're going to have an amazing-looking physique? Of course not. That's what the people want to think. The people with the best physiques in the world, they have amazing genetics to start with. If you don't have amazing genetics and you abuse PDs, you're not going to be an IFBB pro. It doesn't work like that.
Before pin 150 pounds versus 180 pounds in 4 months. Don't do what I do. Claims he is doing this as an experiment.
Okay, and so he went from 150 to 180 pounds in 4 months from using steroids. That's 30 pounds. That's a lot. And so do I think that's natural? No. Based on the evidence, based on the results, the fact that he's put on 30 pounds, yeah, not all of it muscle, but a lot of it was, and the fact that he has this horrible acne, I don't think the guy's lying.
That video completely blew up, 22 million views with over 13,000 comments.
And so for me, the reason it went so viral is because this guy, he doesn't give a shit. He's literally like, yeah, it looks horrible, but I don't care. I feel good. I put on 30 pounds.
I've gotten a lot of comments like, all of that just to bench 185. I'll have you know, not only are you wrong, but you're complimenting me.
And so he responds to comments. All this for a 185-pound bench? Yeah, I wish I could bench 185. I'm only at 135. But when I started, I could barely do the bar, 45 pounds. Look at me. I'm pathetic. I'm a skinny little guy, and I took steroids because of the pressure on social media to be bigger and be ripped.
Steroids have not only made my back look like a bit of strawberry shortcake, but they've also made my shoulders way bigger than my arms.
And so think of it. He says, you know, I look like a strawberry milkshake. I mean, how can you not like this guy? It's like this. When people bully you and make fun of you and try to put you down, and you simply make even more jokes about yourself, you take away their power. What fun is bullying a guy if they're simply agreeing and laughing with you? Coach Greg, you're a manlet. No, I'm not. I'm a hobbit, and I have the Neapolitan complex. And so how can you make fun of Coach Greg's height when he doesn't give a shit? And so I 100% believe this guy. I believe he's being honest, transparent, and he has in fact taken steroids. Derek, he doesn't believe. He doesn't believe that this guy's taking steroids. But he has that right. He, based on Derek's knowledge and his interpretation of what he stated, he doesn't think the guy's on steroids. Perhaps Derek's thinking, yeah, when he said he could barely bench the bar and that in 4 months of steroids he went to 135, perhaps Derek thinks he's lying. But listen, there are in fact people who are that weak. I was a physical education instructor. I put everyone into the weight room. I've tried them out on the bench press, and not all the students in high school could bench press the bar. The bar, 45 pounds, too heavy for a lot of people. And so if you have horrible genetics, you don't have a lot of muscle, you're not eating properly, well, chances are these are going to be the results you can expect from taking steroids. And so if your starting point is more so like this guy, don't think, well, I'm going to take steroids, and at the end of it, yeah, I'm going to have a six-pack, and I'm going to look like a Gymshark model.
This is a interesting, probably a first time ever. He is faking being on gear. That is what I think is going on.
No, what it is, it would be a fake, not natty. Because I'm not natural. And so if imagine I said, hey, I gotta come clean. I'm actually a fake, non-fake natty. I've never taken anything. I just said I was to make you all feel better. I say I'm on 140 milligrams of test a week. I ain't on jack shit. I'm only taking my supplements. I would go from being open, honest, and being transparent that I'm on steroids, that I'm not natural, to being a fake non-natural.
But they didn't just give me irreversible back scars, it also gave me 30 pounds of muscle. Over the course of 4 months, I went up by 30 pounds, and I maintained a six-pack for the whole duration.
Really? You think that if you go to the gym and train for 4 months, you can expect to put on about 30 pounds of muscle? Of course not. And especially this guy. Look at this guy's genetics. Does he look like a guy that you would expect to put on 30 pounds of muscle in 4 months of going to the gym? No. And so it makes sense with the use of anabolic steroids.
Has it never been done before? It's been done before. There are people who have done it, and we've talked about it before on the channel.
And so obviously he's not the first person ever to use steroids when they join the gym. I know several. Personally, I know people who have done this. I'm going to the gym. What should I take? They're using Anavar on day one. They don't like their physique. They're sick of it. And so they don't want to wait. They want their dream physique now. And so they use anything and everything on day one. Steroids, fat burners, you name it, on day one, they want it. They don't want to wait till they've hit their natural genetic limit. Who got time for that? Ain't nobody got time for that.
Even if you pack on like 20 pounds of lean mass off the start, when you look like this, you know, you're only just starting to look like a guy who's actually like in the gym.
Exactly. And so his starting point was so low, had so few amounts of muscle, that even after taking steroids, it only got him to being a normal amount of everyone's starting point.
But you really should not take steroids when you start working out. But if you're still curious about doing that, then please don't.
Hey, this guy just seems like a troll to me.
And so Derek says, oh, it seems like a troll to me, yet he literally is being honest. And so imagine how insulting this is. The guy started at 45 pounds on his bench. It increased to 135 in 4 months. That's 3 times his bench press. 45 times 3 is 135. He tripled his bench in 4 months. And no, he's just trolling. He could have done that natural. Listen, if you start off and your starting point is 45 pounds and your ending point is 90, that's doubling your bench. That's amazing. And so just because he can't bench 185, 225, and so on, doesn't mean that the guy's not on steroids. Lots of guys on steroids, they can't bench 185. Just because you're natural and you can, doesn't mean that everyone in the world is going to be the same as you.
Like, look at these dips, bro.
And so Derek's making fun of his dips. Do you know how hard it is to do a dip? I was a physical education instructor. Do you know how hard it is for the majority of kids to actually do a dip? The ones who don't take part in physical activity, the ones who are just playing video games all day, doing this from morning till night, they don't have the tricep strength to do a dip.
For an experiment to see what's happening, he does not seem to have many controlled variables or have given much context onto what is going on.
Derek is so funny. The guy's like, hey, I'm doing an experiment. I'm going to take steroids at the same time as I start lifting and see what the results are. Derek's like, oh, well, I don't think that was an experiment. Where are the control variables? Where's his blood work pre, during, and post cycle? He hasn't documented his lifts, his performance. Where are all the different metrics and all the sciencey Derek words that only Derek would use? And so as I'm watching this, I have to laugh. Oh, it couldn't have been an experiment because he didn't control for the variables. The guy just said, I'm using steroids the first day I work out because I'm sick of being scrawny. I want to fit in. I want to look like everyone else. And he puts on 30 pounds. He triples his bench press. And Derek doubles down. Nope, couldn't have done that with steroids. He's probably natural.
Just had a really bad back knee and otherwise used the opportunity to claim that he got this side effect from gear.
And so really, what's more likely? That he created this elaborate story, made YouTube videos pointing out his horrible back knee, made up the fact that he took steroids for 4 months, pretended to triple his bench press, all to cover up that he had some form of genetic predisposition to develop back knee at about the age of 20. Really? Who is this guy? The illegitimate son of the Liver King? The Liver King lie, pretended to be natural along. I know what I'll do. I'm going to be the anti-Liver King. I'm going to pretend to be on gear, but not, and use my genetic predisposition for developing acne well beyond puberty as a cover-up in order to go viral on the internet, make millions. Really? That was his plan. Guy's smarter than friggin' last time. Playing 4D chess with all of us.
You have not provided any sort of breakdown of anything other than just this one statement and pictures of your side effects, supposedly.
Derek, he doesn't give a shit about doing some scientific documented experiment. He's not publishing this in some scientific journal. He's just like, I'm a 150-pound skinny guy. I'm going to do an experiment and take steroids when I join the gym so I can get jacked. I'm going to tell the world how much weight I put on.
What are you even documenting then? If it's not for the sake of having some sort of clarity on experimentation factors that go into this.
And so no, he didn't want to publicize it. He just wanted to say, yo, kids out there, I put on 30 pounds. Look at my horrible back knee. I look like a strawberry cheesecake. But hey, I don't give a shit. Make fun of me all you like. I got 30 more pounds, and that's all I'm saying.
The number one question I get is what gear I'm taking, and I don't like to answer that. I don't want people to replicate what I do. The second most
Dude, why would anyone replicate what you're doing, though?
Exactly. Derek makes a great point here. He's like, why would anyone replicate this? Oh, I don't want to tell anyone what I got because I don't want anyone to replicate it.
Stop asking about my balls.
And so, hey, he doesn't want to talk about the downstairs, but let me say this. Your private area, it's not going to get smaller, but the ball sack absolutely is. And remember, one side effect is when you actually go off of these steroids, what you're going to have is very low testosterone levels, and you may not, in fact, be able to get your downstairs harder than last time. And if that's the case, well, you can get harder than last time. Of course, go and see your doctor, go and see what's going on. And of course, never break the law and only use steroids with the advice and consent from your own doctor. Interested in harder than last time for the downstairs or G test to help boost your testosterone naturally? Well, click the link in the description, code Greg, 10% off.
I think you need some full blood work, dude. I would be happy to cover a full comprehensive panel through my company, Merrick Health. We are a preventative medicine platform.
And then Derek cleverly puts in an ad for Merrick Health, which of course makes 100% sense. If you're abusing performance-enhancing drugs, you need to get your blood work in. And so you can go to Merrick Health, go to your doctor, go somewhere, get it checked out. I hope this guy did this. We don't know if he did, but if he didn't, he should. Derek's offering him free advice, free blood work. Go for it. But if you want to avoid all the chaos, the shutting down of your testosterone levels, breaking the law and so on, then why not just use GO2 Max? GO2 Max, way healthier, the main ingredient, NMN, shown in double-blind, placebo-controlled human studies to actually improve your endurance in the real world. Tens of thousands of people bought GO2 Max. Tens of thousands. They're loving it. People are rebuying it harder than last time. Can it help you to build muscle? Well, indirectly it can. You have more endurance, better recovery, more stamina, meaning you can train harder in the gym, recover faster between sets, burn calories at a faster pace. You're doing your cardio, you're going faster. You're going longer. And so you're going to decrease your body fat percentage. And so although it's not a fat burner, it's not some thermogenic, it's not going to affect your sleep. It can, in fact, result in having a leaner than last time physique. With improved cardio comes a lowering of your body's genetic set point. That means your body wants to carry lower body fat levels. You can eat more calories, you're not as hungry, you're more satiated. And so my number one recommendation, if you want to be healthy, live a long and healthy life, please do cardio. Even more important than lifting weights. Remember, VO2 Max, the number one predictor of longevity, even more so than your strength and muscle size. And what can improve your cardio the most? GO2 Max. Code Greg, 10% off.
I'm interested to see if his blood work indicates that this guy is actually on gear, because I am skeptical, dude.
And so Derek is skeptical. Is he on gear? Is not. So please let me know in the comment section. This I really want to know. Do you believe Derek or do you believe me? And it's not a competition. I just want to know. Do more of you believe that this kid is on steroids, or do you think he's a fake non-natty? Subscribe, click that bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please comment. Also, could you watch one of those two bloops? And don't forget, we have a free diet and training program. It's close to 50 pages. If you don't have any money for any of the supplements, the cookbooks, the training books, all that great stuff, you can, of course, get the free diet and training program. First and last name, email address comes right to you. Please head over to the website, code Greg, 10% off. And until next time, I am out.